The first time I heard about the Rosslyn Chapel was when I was researching Freemasonry. In his book and movie, The Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown refers to it as the most magical place on the planet. Could it be that the bones of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene are hidden in a secret chamber under the chapel? That the Holy Grail and a vast fortune lay buried under its altar? Now, to understand why these theories came about, we need a quick lesson into the history of the Rosslyn Chapel. It was in the year 1119 that the Roman Catholic Church founded the Knights Templar, the most feared and respected warriors in Europe who reported directly only to the Pope. During their crusades, they acquired the treasures from King Solomon's temple, including secret knowledge which they supposedly hid in the chambers under the Rosslyn Chapel which they built. Getting to the chapel is quite simple. You take a direct bus from Scotland's Edinburgh city straight into the village of Rosslyn. It's a 2-minute walk from the bus stop to the chapel. You have to pay a small admission fee of £9 per person, and you have access to the cafe and the Rosslyn Chapel grounds. The first thing that hits you when you enter the chapel is the size of it. The chapel, by all standards, it's quite small. In fact, the original plans for Rosslyn have never been found or recorded, so it is open to speculation whether or not the chapel was intended to be built in its current layout. The chapel was founded on a small hill above Rosslyn Glen and overlooks the surrounding countryside and the Scottish Highlands. The Freemasons who designed and built this structure were obsessed with geometry, and you see their symbols everywhere in the building. One of the more notable and exciting architectural features of the chapel is this apprentice pillar. Now, legend has it that the apprentice built the pillar in spite of his master not being around. In a fit of anger, the master mason comes and kills the apprentice. There are many theories that surround the construction of this elaborate pillar, but by far the most intriguing for me is the similarity that this pillar has with the double helix of DNA. Now, the Freemasons were obsessed with divine geometry, so is it possible that they were aware of the structure of a double helix and they replicated it in the design of this magnificent pillar? The Rosslyn Chapel was built on an existing structure, also known as the crypt or the lower chapel. Now, the lower chapel is full of Masonic symbolism. But what's even more exciting is that this chamber sits on another layer deep underground called the burial vault, which remains unexplored till date. Is it possible that the mummified head of Jesus Christ is here? Is it possible that the Holy Grail or Mary Magdalene's body is buried here? Could it be that the treasure of the Knights Templar is also hidden in these vaults? We will never know until we explore further. Until the Sinclair family gives us permission to excavate, we need to speculate. So the Rosslyn Chapel was originally designed to be a cruciform. However, they didn't manage to complete it, or at least that's what they say. This is the main entrance. You have 2 entrances at the side, entrances or exits, and there's the chamber that I took you down earlier and a corresponding chamber on the other side. This is still unopened. Now remember, the Freemasons did everything in proportion. So perhaps the cruciform section, both the arms of the cross, were actually constructed, but they were constructed underground. In order to have a better understanding of the cruciform shape, one needs to have a view of the Rosslyn Chapel from above. So one thing every builder knows is that a strong building needs a strong foundation, and the foundation of the Rosslyn Chapel is exactly like a cross. You have both the chambers we explored earlier on the lower end of the cross. However, what remains is the upper end of the cross, the arms, where I believe there are underground chambers. Outlandish as the theory may seem, I am fairly confident that the archaeologist will find something under the upper ends of the cross. The Freemasons who designed and built this incredible structure did it to house a secret that we will only know when the Sinclair family allow us to investigate the chambers underneath this extraordinary structure.